Ladies and gentlemen, the Triston Casas return is officially within sight. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. A very happy Father's Day to all the Red Seat dads out there. Thank you for everything you do for us sons and daughters, and a very special happy Father's Day to my own dad. Not only has he been absolutely instrumental for my love of this game and one of the biggest reasons why I'm still doing this channel today, but he's very instrumental in the person I am today as well, and I can't thank you enough, Dad. Happy Father's Day. Anyways, getting back to Red Sox news here, the Boston Red Sox gave some updates yesterday on Triston Casas and a few other players who are getting much closer to rejoining this team. It could entirely change the landscape of the Boston Red Sox. So what we are doing in today's videos, we're going over the latest Red Sox injury updates and what they mean for the 2024 team. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so like I said, it's not only Triston Casas that we are touching on in this video. There are a couple other pretty positive injury updates, but I think it's only right we start there because Triston Casas has been missing for 2 months now, basically. He went down on April 20th with that torn rib cartilage, and we have not seen him since. However, we have steadily been getting updates as to what he's been doing off the field, right? We've gotten video and footage of him taking ground balls, of him throwing a baseball, basically doing a bunch of baseball activities and trying to get himself back into baseball shape. But there was really one thing missing in all of this, and it was pretty much the most important thing, and that is that Triston Casas was still feeling enough pain that it was preventing him from starting to swing again. That was until yesterday when Alex Cora, speaking with Red Sox media before the game, mentioned that Triston Casas has been swinging a bat recently. Specifically, over the last couple of days, Casas has taken 30 dry swings, which for those of you who may not know what that is, it's essentially swinging a baseball bat without the purpose of hitting a baseball. He's just sort of swinging a bat to swing a bat to get himself back into shape. And while that may not sound like a really important step, to me, that is absolutely massive in getting Casas back to the Red Sox, because for a while, his goal, which he had set out for himself, which was to rejoin the Red Sox on July 2nd through the 4th down in Miami, a little bit of a homecoming for him too, felt a bit unattainable. You're running out of time here. It's late June right now. You're getting closer to that date and you still aren't picking up a bat. It felt like it just simply was not going to happen. Getting this news, having him come out and start swinging again, puts him just that much closer to making that goal attainable, which would be absolutely massive for the Boston Red Sox, because in just 22 games this year, Casas has a 244 average with a 344 on base percentage and a 513 slug, good for a 137 OPS plus, 37% above league average production. That included 6 home runs, which before the injury put him on pace to finish the season with 44 homers. Getting that kind of production back to go along with Rafael Devers, who is having a career year, Jarren Duran, who should be an all-star, Tyler O'Neill, who has found his groove again, and Wilyer Abreu, who we will talk about in a second, makes the middle of this Red Sox lineup an absolute monster going forward. Now, it's not yet fully confirmed that he will be back at the beginning of July. Cora adding in, quote, "I know he has this goal in mind of the time we go to Miami." Hopefully that's the case. We've got to be smart. He needs to be smart. And so far he's been outstanding with it. So it still might be a bit longer till we get Casas back, but the light is at the end of the tunnel, folks. We are starting to see legitimate, true progress in Triston Casas' rehab, and it really feels like he is on the verge of making a full comeback, which to me is absolutely fantastic news. Whether or not it's the first week of July is a different story, but even if it is the second week of July or a couple of series into the July month, I'm absolutely ecstatic that we are very, very close now to getting Triston Casas back on the Boston Red Sox. But he's not the only one who's making some strides back to this team. However, before we get into that, do me a favor, if you haven't already, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button. We talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button as well. Not only does it help these videos out a ton, but it also is the best way to let me know that you enjoy the content we are putting out on this channel. Thank you all for doing so. Let's talk about some more positive injury news. Like we mentioned, Wilyer Abreu, another massive part of this Red Sox lineup, has been riding pine for a little bit now. For those of you who don't remember, he sprained his ankle walking into the dugout in that Detroit series. Just a full representation of where the Red Sox injury luck is at this year, but he is also making strides to come back to this team. We talked about it in a previous video. He'd been doing baseball activities still. It felt like he was going to be back within a shorter period of time. Well, yesterday, we got an even more in-depth update as to where he's at. Before the game yesterday, he ended up running the bases at full speed, which is absolutely a fantastic step, especially when we are talking about a sprained ankle. For the next step, it's basically getting him into a rehab game and seeing if he's okay to play the field. Alex Cora mentioning he wants him to get down there, play a full game in the outfield to make sure he's fully good to go before he comes back and rejoins the Red Sox at the big league level. What that rehab assignment looks like is probably in the later half of this week when the Woo Sox return home from their road trip. He'll get one game in there, and then the ultimate goal with Wilyer Abreu is to get him back for the Cincinnati Reds series at the end of this week. And obviously, he's still going to be missing some time here, at least another series, but regardless, he will be a much needed addition to the Red Sox lineup because so far this year, Wilyer has a 272 average with a 344 on base percentage and a 485 slug, which is good for a 130 OPS plus, 30% above league average production. That is another well above average bat the Red Sox can add to their lineup, and it's not just his bat the Red Sox will be getting in return. They'll also be getting a whole lot of help defensively. He has been an above average outfielder in every single defensive category this year. Specifically, it's the 78th percentile in outs above average, meaning only 22% of Major League Baseball has a better outs above average statistic than Wilyer Abreu. He's in the 91st percentile in arm value and the 98th percentile in arm strength. Only 2% of the league has a stronger arm than Wilyer Abreu this year. Getting not only a well above average bat, but an excellent defender again will do wonders for the Boston Red Sox. Plus, he's just a ton of fun to watch on the baseball diamond, right? He makes ridiculous catches. He's animated on the base pass. He's a ton of fun to watch in the box. Getting Wilyer back from a fan perspective is absolutely fantastic. And on top of that, too, he's still firmly in the Rookie of the Year race, so getting him back as soon as possible is another thing to look forward to with this Red Sox team. Again, you're probably still looking at about a week or so until you get a Wilyer Abreu return, but much like Triston Casas, the light at the end of the tunnel is officially in sight, and Wilyer Abreu should be rejoining this team as soon as humanly possible. It looks like even closer to coming back than Wilyer and Casas are Romy Gonzalez and Chris Martin. Now, those aren't the most exciting names in the world, but they'll definitely still be a major help to this Red Sox team. Romy's been spending some time in AAA right now, rehabbing with the Worcester Red Sox. He only has one more game, and if all goes well, he should be rejoining the team as they head up to Toronto after tonight's game. Chris Martin is also joining Romy with the Worcester Red Sox over in Buffalo to pitch one inning today, and again, if all goes well, he will also be joining the Red Sox as they head to Toronto. Now, this is great for a couple of different reasons. One, it's fantastic that Chris Martin was able to get the help he needs and figure out what is going on with him mentally. That is absolutely and unequivocally the most important part of all of this. I really am happy that he is able to get himself right, but in terms of the impact on the Red Sox, getting Chris Martin back is going to be important. He is a veteran leader type pitcher in that clubhouse and in that bullpen, and on top of that, when he's right, he's one of the most dominant relievers in all of baseball. Getting that back will obviously be a huge help, but maybe more importantly than just him being a dominant reliever is the fact that over the last couple of series, the Red Sox have really had to dive into their bullpen a little bit. There have been a couple of instances, especially with Brian Bayo, which we will talk about in our series recap, where he hasn't been able to go very deep into games. The bullpen's been used a lot lately, so getting Chris Martin back with a fresh arm will be hugely important in making up that difference and getting guys some much needed rest that could really use it over the next couple of days. And with Romy, he's actually been pretty sneaky good so far this year. Now, the stat line is a 257 average with a 308 on base percentage and a 343 slug for an 83 OPS plus. 70% below league average production doesn't exactly jump out of the page at you, but if you take a look at his baseball savant, there's a ton of red in there, and what that indicates right now is he's playing a whole lot better than his stat line is showing, and that could be a help for this Red Sox team. Getting a right-handed bat that could be impactful into the bottom of this lineup could be pretty important over the next stretch of games. But maybe, again, more importantly than that is what Romy Gonzalez offers the Red Sox in terms of defensive flexibility. David Hamilton and Enmanuel Valdez bats probably need to be in this lineup every day right now with the way they're swinging it right there, just flat crushing baseballs right now, but they leave a lot to be desired defensively, and getting Romy back gives you some flexibility to move around the middle infield of your defensive alignments and hopefully give you a bit better movement defensively. So either way, again, maybe these aren't the biggest names in the world, but getting these guys back are going to play a key part in the Red Sox truly competing over the next couple of months. And overall, you take a look at all of these, and it's a lot of positive news. It feels like, again, we talked about it in our last update video, we're starting to turn that corner from all negative Red Sox injury news to a bit more positive injury news, and that is an absolutely fantastic thing. But it's happening kind of at the perfect time right now. The Red Sox themselves, the players in this clubhouse, are essentially on a tryout right now to try and convince Red Sox ownership and Red Sox front office that they deserve to not be sellers at this year's deadline, and getting healthy and staying healthy is going to be an absolute key part in that sort of pitch to be buyers at this year's deadline. They're performing well on the field recently, but health is obviously going to be a major factor in this. Getting healthy and staying healthy is going to be extremely important here, and seeing them start to get healthy is absolutely fantastic. It obviously is a whole lot easier for the front office to convince themselves that they can be contenders and can be buyers if they have impact pieces like Casas, Wilyer, and Martin back and fully healthy with this team. But even depth pieces like Romy and Vaughn Grissom, who is a more role player right now with the Boston Red Sox, healthy and back with this team, will help push the Red Sox front office in that direction. I think as fans, we would absolutely love to see that. So these are really, really positive injury updates, but I want to get your opinions as well. What do you think of these updates? What do you think of the timeline? What do you think this means for the Red Sox? And is there anything in here that you think is more significant than anything else? Let me know all your thoughts on the latest Red Sox injury updates in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Again, if you're new here, we talk Sox almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button as well. Not only does it help these videos out a ton, but it's also the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. But don't forget, you can also get all these episodes in podcast form on the go on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Links are in the description, or you can head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and I will see you in the Red Seats.